All right already. Salutations, everyone. Thank you so much for coming back on my platform for another great interview. I am so privileged to have this next guest on. I've been actually following her content for quite a few years now, and she's a force. I mean, she does commentary on various reality shows, celebrity gossip, trending topics. And I what I like about her commentary is that she gives such a not such a wider perspective, but she gives a very unique perspective that no one ever thinks of, and is very thought provoking. So I really looking forward to having a more in depth conversation with her about her. Because sometimes that's one of the things I enjoy about my interviews, because I like to have a deeper dive on the actual person outside of the content. So I'm so looking forward to having her on. And please make sure that you subscribe to her channel, support her platform, because I mean, she gives, like I said, just she has like the eccentric type of thing going on, which it kind of is more intriguing for me. So I'm just looking forward to having her on. So I had to make sure that I had on my bra so I could be ready to present to you the supreme intellectual, Miss Erica Dinero TV. Here we go. And here she is, Miss Erica Dinero TV. There she is. Thank you so much for being
Hi,
here.
thank
And
you for
yeah,
having
I'm
me.
so sorry, Erica. By the way, I meant to ask you, did you want to stream it on your platform as well, this live? I meant to ask that before. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Well,
It's
you
okay.
can
It's
do it.
okay. I'll play it. I'll share it when we're done,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I'll make sure I share it. I
Yes,
think
please
I have
do.
the capabilities to download as well, so I might be able to download. But if you can, I don't know how you could share it with me, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
yeah, no problem. Let me know, because I'm still kind of navigating, because you more of an OG in this than I am. So
Yeah,
yeah, we definitely do that. But
we'll talk
but
about it.
Erica down there, so hi.
Hi, how are you? Hi, everybody.
Yes, shout out to everyone, that those who are in the bushes, those who are in the comments, and just anyone who want to ponder replay. I really wish you would.
Yes.
So I want to get into, because like I said, and when I occupy your space, you kind of give me a flow that is like no other. So I want to kind of get into where you were in the beginning. I want to get into Erica from back in the day. Growing up, and did you grow up in California?
Yes, I'm from
Okay,
LA. Yeah, I grew up in
LA.
Southern
So go. Oh,
California.
LA. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I grew up in
I
Southern
wanted to get to little
California.
Erica. I want to get to little Erica.
Yeah.
Growing up, where you went from a single parent household, two parent household. Did you have siblings, cousins? Because you seem like only child to me. So
Yeah, I have 6 siblings. So
yes. Oh,
I'm from Southern California. I was raised in a first it was a nuclear family, and then my mom and my dad got a divorce, and then my mom moved in with my grandparents. So then I actually grew up in a multi-generational household.
yeah.
So, yeah, so I had the benefit of having the silent generation and then the boomer and my mom.
Oh,
And I'm so
pause.
thankful to
Yeah,
my grandma.
pause right there, Erica. What did you mean by silent generation?
The silent generation, you know how we're like, well, I'm from Generation X, and then there's millennials, and then Gen Z, and then baby boomers. And so our grandparents are from the silent generation from like the
Oh,
20s
I
and
never
then to
heard of it.
now.
Oh, I never heard of it. It's called silent generation. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. See, I'm learning something already. Okay.
yeah.
All right. And so, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, because
It's okay.
so you just went from the nuclear to an extended family, and so how old were you when your parents got divorced?
I think I was 3. It was like 3 or 4, around 3. I always correlated with my brother was in the 4th grade, and we're like 6 years apart. So he was around 9 and I was around 3. And then when my mom and dad got a divorce, so it was just me and my brother from my mother. And then my father went on to have 4 more children. So I'm
Gotcha.
actually the second oldest out of all my dad's children, but
Oh,
the
mhm.
youngest of my mother's children.
Okay, got it. So I was about to ask you that, like where you fall among the
Yeah,
siblings. So
I'm number two. I'm the second oldest. Yeah, and then I have there's two brothers and wait, one, two, three sisters. Yeah, three sisters, two brothers. Yeah, so it's four
yeah,
girls.
I know it's hard to keep track. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
you grow up with your all your siblings? Did
No,
you?
it's funny that you said I seem like an only child because when my mom and dad split, my brother went to live with my dad, and I went to live with my mom and my grandparents. So I was
Oh, so you're the
my
only one? Oh,
yeah. So my cousins, they often say like she acts like she's an only child, things like that.
yeah.
Because she's spoiled and stuff like that. Because my grandparents, especially my grandfather, doted on me a lot. Like really did. Like wouldn't let me drive anywhere. Wouldn't let me go anywhere without him taking me. He would take me
Mm.
everywhere. He wouldn't even let me walk to the bus stop. It was not even
Oh,
a quarter mile
wow.
away. He would drive me to the bus stop. So
Oh
I
my
always thought
goodness.
that I was spoiled when I
Yeah. So you said make them. I mean, why are we so protective?
I don't know. My grandfather was just really, he was just like that about me. My grandmother tells a story that when my grandfather, he eventually, of course, he's passed on and he had
Right.
Alzheimer's. And
Mm.
my grandmother, I was out of the home by then. And so my grandmother would tell me that my grandfather says his prayers and he still prays for me. He didn't recognize me, but he still was praying in his prayers. He still remembered to pray for me. So
Oh,
yeah,
that
that's
is beautiful, Erica. Oh my
yeah,
goodness. Oh,
yeah.
yeah. That really touched me right there. Oh my, really.
Yeah, so I was raised, my grandparents, like,
Yeah.
I often say, I don't know if you hear me like in my videos, I often say, I don't know where I would exactly be if it wasn't for my grandparents, and both my grandfather and my grandmother just were really instrumental in my upbringing. Yeah.
That's great. Because I mean, most grandparents are, because mine was too. So I get it.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you this, Erica. You said that because your siblings, all your other siblings, primarily with your father, and you're the only one with your mom.
My
So
mom.
how did that dynamic affect your growing up, or did you even notice, or was it something that stood out to you at a time?
No, when you said, did you grow up an only child? That is something that I feel like I was an only
You felt
child.
like it. Okay,
I
right at
do,
that.
I do
Okay,
felt like I was only child. First, my brother and I are 6 years apart. He's older generation X. So he had his other interests and his friends and things like that.
right,
And then
true.
with my cousins, I was also in the middle. So it was like a span of 8 years before the next cousin came. And so I was kind of by myself at my age. I didn't have anybody to play with or anything like that. So I
Right.
was, yeah, so I was like pretty much by myself, and I was with these old people watching stories all day and Price is Right,
Mm,
stuff like
mm,
that. So I was with my
yes,
grandparents. Yeah.
yes,
So yeah.
yeah, yes. So now did you go like did your father still have a presence in your life?
Yes, my father was present all through my life. He always picked me up, take me.
Mm,
We would go places together. He spent time with me.
okay, okay.
Yeah, so he would come pick me up. I would go stay at his house on the weekends. I even lived with him for a portion of my high school years. Just for I only lasted a semester because
Mm,
his wife and I did not
ah,
get along. Like she didn't
right.
like kids. So
Oh,
I moved back with my grandparents and my mom. Yeah, and so but I grew up. My mom had me. Grew up in private school.
mm.
I was in all kind of extracurricular activities, ballet, tap, piano, everything, all the things, anything she
Oh,
could put
wow,
me
that's
in. My
great. 'Cause I
mom.
was gonna ask you that. So where did the extracurricular activity start? Did it start? Because you always like to start in elementary, junior high school. Did it start?
Elementary. I started playing piano when I was 5. Yeah, on up
Nice.
until junior high school, and then I stopped.
Oh,
I
nice.
often wish I didn't stop. I can play by ear now.
Okay.
I can't read music at all, but I can definitely play by ear.
Nice.
Yeah, my mom had me in everything. She made sure I was involved in everything. I played sports, and I went to a private school. So in elementary school, it was a private school, but it was co-ed. And then I went to an all-girls school for middle school. So
Oh,
that was a Catholic school convent, actually.
wow.
Yeah, and so I went there for 2 years, involved in sports, all the extracurricular activity, dancing, pep squad, volleyball team, all the things.
So wait a
Yeah.
minute. So Erica, wow. So I mean, that's great. But how did you manage? Because like I said, we're still in elementary, junior high. I want to stay there for a while.
Uh-huh.
Because this is great. So you were able because you seem like the RC type. So that's
Yeah.
not surprising to me that you exude creativity. So that's not surprising to me.
Yeah.
So you have all that going on. How did you manage academia along with that?
I was social. I got talked too much on my report cards, so I
Uh,
was more of the social person. Um, my all my teachers would tell my mom, "She's so bright, she's so brilliant. We just need her to apply herself. She talks, she knows how to lead people. She's a great leader. We just need her to lead the people in the right direction."
Right, right. Yeah, like, use your talents for good, Erica. Use your talents for good.
Yes, yes. And I always had a mouth. I've always had a mouth, always had a mouth. And so I was always kind of rallying people up to do things. Like if I felt
Okay.
something was wrong,
Like
I
what?
would be
Like
like,
what?
"It's wrong, isn't it wrong? Yeah, come
So you
on." Like,
so you oh, okay,
yeah, I
that
was
makes
loud.
sense. So you was
Yeah.
protesting at that age. So
Yeah.
what you was protesting about? Like, what you getting them to do?
Things I would see wrong in school. I don't remember like anything. Bullying was my
Okay.
thing. Like
Yes,
I
yes.
would fight bullies. So whenever I felt like somebody was being mistreated, I would confront that person. I would be the one to confront that person. Right. Yeah, I was very much that was one of my main things. I just didn't like bullies. And so
Yeah,
yeah.
no, me either. No.
Yeah.
Bullies are
To this
bullies are bad
day,
people.
yeah,
Yes.
it really
Yes,
hurts my
yes.
heart.
Bullying is not just this. Bullying is not a part of life. Don't let
Yeah.
people program you into thinking that's something that you're supposed to go through. No, it's not.
Right,
It's not
right.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you get bullied?
No, I
Okay.
beat up the bullies.
She's like, no, mm-mm,
No,
mm-mm.
I beat them up. I beat them up.
Oh, you had hands.
Yeah, I would get and mostly the fights that I would get into would be with boys who would bully girls, right? Or boys
Okay.
who would bully
Yeah.
other like feminine boys. They would get bullied. I would stick up for them. I was always sticking up for somebody.
So that's what I said. So early on, I mean, you took leadership, roles early on. So
Yeah.
where did that? What? Because I had to derive from somewhere. Do you do
Um,
you have any perspective on that?
I don't know. I've never thought about that. I don't know. I've just always been, my mom used to tell me all the time, "You have a rebellious spirit." She used to tell me
Hmm.
that all the time. So I
Right.
don't know if I internalized that and just became a part of my identity. But I've always been the one until I learned to get out of that. But I would always be the one, even when I got into like corporate America, I would be the one like, "This is wrong," or speaking up
Okay.
for somebody, until I realized that speaking up all the time for people who don't necessarily would do it for themselves, kind of like I started like falling back from doing that. But I'm still that it's still in me to like speak up when I feel like
Absolutely.
somebody's being done wrong. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I totally understand that. So given what you mentioned, because I always look at because when I speak with other people doing these interviews, I like to always get into elementary and junior high school because I do it for a reason. It's not just because I enjoy it, even though I do enjoy
Yeah.
what I hear about it. But
Hmm.
it's also a lot of times people don't understand all of the self-discovery that goes on there in that period. So that's why I
Yeah.
always ask about because it has to come, like I said, where we are right now, it comes from somewhere. It's not just, where we grew up or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are the periods like elementary, junior high is when you really are doing like self-discovery because you're spending more time in school than you are at home. You're spending
Yeah.
more time.
And I
So
spent a lot of time
yeah.
because I was in private school.
And you was
Our
doing all these
community
extracurricular
was
activities.
small. Yeah, and
Oh,
so we
oh,
were
okay.
always at somebody's house spending the night. We were always,
Right.
doing stuff. We were a very, very close-knit community. And
Okay.
I don't know if it came, I don't know who it came from, maybe watching my grandparents and their relationship. It was always very equal. So I always felt like people should be treated equally. But yeah, the one thing that I do uh, love about myself is that I haven't forgot what it was like to be a child.
Okay,
I
I was going to ask you that. What was your self discovery at that moment, at that peak moment in elementary, junior high school? I was about to ask you that. So thank you for
yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
just I knew that I was always going to be one that spoke up for people. I knew that I had leader. I mean, I would hear my teachers tell my mom, like in parent teacher conference and things like that. But I always got talked too much, right? I'm very much social, and I didn't really lean into academia the way. I'm more of a creative person. Like I should have been
Yes.
in a
Yes.
put into more of a creative, not academia was not my thing. I'm also like a left-handed person, so I'm in the right side of my brain a
Oh,
lot.
you're left-handed. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's
Okay.
just like all the creativity and stuff like that is where
Yes.
is where
Yes.
I thrive. Hmm.
Yeah, my son is left-handed. That's a blessing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah.
yeah,
So, all right. So, yeah, but thank you for sharing that because that really gives me a much greater understanding about
yeah,
who you are. Yes. So, yeah, I'm glad you shared that with me. All
yeah,
right. So now, when you into that space of self-discovery, understanding what your position was, even at that time, like I said, from the extracurricular activities to being able to lead and being able to rebel against the norm and having the unpopular opinions at times. Like I said, it started early, so
yeah.
and you going against the grain. So how did that affect people around you? Because sometimes as children, we're supposed to be seen and not heard, and it's a form of disrespect, and is
Hmm.
so how did those things? Did you get pushed back a lot
I
growing
got in
up?
trouble a lot. I got a lot of
Yeah,
whoopings. I got
yeah.
a lot of whoopings. I got a lot of whoopings from my mom. She
Oh,
disciplined
okay.
corporally,
Yeah.
and it was always because I had to get the last word. It was always my mouth. It was always my mouth. I was a good
Mhm.
kid. Like outside of that, I didn't get in trouble. They didn't have to worry about cops coming to visit the house
Right,
because I
right.
wasn't in trouble like that. It was just always my mouth, and I always got in trouble for my mouth. But I remember
Mhm.
going through my aunt and uncles in their library, and I was looking in their library. I don't remember how old I was, but I remember picking up the autobiography of Malcolm X and just skimming through it. I saw the word nonconformist, and
Mhm.
I asked my
Mhm.
grandfather what it meant, and because I didn't understand, I was like, it felt like I felt it in my system, but I didn't understand it, right? So I asked my grandpa what did it mean, and he told me it's somebody that doesn't conform to what
What
society
right.
wants to give
What
you.
the
You're
norm is, what the
outside of
norm
that, yeah.
mhm.
So he explained to me that, and it's always resonated. And every time people would talk about my personality, the word nonconformist would just pop into my head from when I
Mhm.
read it in the autobiography of Malcolm X. I just opened it, and then the word popped out, and I was just like, "What does this mean?" And so, yeah.
So, Erica, what type of people did you have around you? Like, what type of like as far as your standard of friends and who you associate yourself with, what type of people were they? What type of friends did you have? Who did you
I
hang around
had
with?
a very diverse group of friends.
Mm,
I say that we look like a Benetton. Do you know the
yes,
brand Benetton? Yeah, I said we look
absolutely.
like a Benetton ad.
And that's
Um,
great.
yeah, it was always from elementary school all the way up to junior high school. It was multicultural, and I was
Yes.
often the one black child in the group, right? So
Okay.
I had Filipino friends, Thai friends, Mexican friends, Filipino, um, Argentinian,
Wow.
Jamaican, Trinidadian. Like we were all. It was all of us. Like we were all over.
That is
Um,
great.
yeah, like and a lot of some of my friends, their parents are immigrants, things like that, and their grandparents were immigrants, So it was a lot of us. My best friends growing up were Mexican, Arab, and Thai. So
Mm,
that was our whole group, our core group.
right.
Yeah, and all of those women have gone on to be psychologists, teachers, principals. Yeah, really accomplished from junior high school. The girls that I went to junior high school with. Yeah,
Nice. Oh,
yeah,
and I like that.
yeah,
I wish that was for me, that
yeah,
I really wish that I always said that, because I have a cousin like that, that she has such a diverse set of friends, her social
yeah.
what you call it?
Their social
A
group.
group,
Yeah, a
yeah,
group.
yeah,
Yeah,
social group. Yes. Oh, well versed. And I love that. I love that
circle.
for you. Yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
remember. I remember when I moved when I was turning 30. I moved to Atlanta. and
Oh,
they
did
made
you?
a joke. We had a going away party, and they made a joke, and they were like, "All of the non-black friends, people here, they're here for Erica." I'm like, okay,
Oh,
because I was moving there
oh.
with a girl who just grew up predominantly around black people. So all my friends were just all walks of life. So yeah.
Nice. I love that. So, all right. So we're going from elementary, junior high, and now I want to know what are some of the key things that you, if you can remember, some of the key things that you carried with you to high school. What high school did you go to?
I went to Palisades High School.
Palisades High School.
Yeah, in Southern California. A very famous high school, like a 2 blocks maybe from the beach. Yeah, so
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Plenty of
yeah,
hooky there.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and so I went to Palisades High School. Well, what happened is, let me kind of explain. In Southern California, the way the school system works, junior high school is seventh and eighth grade.
Okay.
In some
Okay.
districts, it was seventh, eighth, and ninth.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
where I went to junior high school, seventh and eighth grade. Then I went to high school, which was ninth grade. And then I
Okay.
was living with my dad at that time. We were like, "Oh, what a great idea! Go live with your dad for your high school years. See how that is." He and ex-wife, now his ex-wife, she wasn't nice. I call her step monster. She wasn't the nicest to me.
Ooh.
She just didn't seem to like kids. She
Then
was
why did
like,
she marry a man with kids?
I don't know, but it's so funny because I remember her like kissing up to me in order to like make herself look good for my dad.
Favorable, favorable. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember like I like had the memory like, oh, she's just doing this because she wants my
Yeah.
dad. She don't really like me, you
Okay.
know.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we just didn't really get along. I was 14 years old, didn't really get along. And so then when I left, my mom was like, okay, you're not going to finish school there because you're not getting along with this lady. I don't want to have to come up there and
And do something. Yeah.
do something
Mhm.
right. So she was like, it's best that you come home. So I went home, but because of school districts, they were ninth grade was junior high school. So I was mad because it felt like I was
Mm.
going back to junior high school. I should be in high school.
Right. Right.
The district in the ninth grade was junior high school. And so then after that, 10th grade was high school.
Got
And
it.
so that's when I went to Palisades that's where I graduated from. Yeah.
All right. So what like so going back, so from junior high, what do you remember some of the key things that you took carry with you to into high school?
My individuality.
Okay.
Again, being a nonconformist,
Mhm.
took taking having still, of course, being a young girl, having insecurities, but still like knowing who I was and not being ashamed of being who I was,
Right.
and not really following a crowd, but sometimes looking like, oh, I kind of want to be a part of the crowd, but I kind of don't want to be a
Not
part
too
of the
much.
crowd.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
so I took that individuality with me into high school. Um, yeah, I took that. That was it, taking my individuality, like being who I am and not conforming to what other girls are doing in school or following like trends like that,
Yeah. Right.
even behavioral trends. Like I wasn't a girl who was boy crazy or anything
I
like
was
that.
about to ask about you. I was about to ask about that. You start dating then.
I did. I had a little boyfriend in when I was 16 years old. But it was on my only one boyfriend during high school. I only had one
Oh,
boyfriend.
that was your high school
Yeah.
sweetheart.
Yeah. And so yeah, that was just my one relationship. It was in 11th grade. And then we didn't last that long, and then I was just a single girl, I guess. But I more so took platonic relationships with boys more. I had more value in that. It felt more valuable to be friends with the
Yeah.
boys than to try
Yeah.
to be their love interest. For me, that felt safer for me.
I get it. I
Yeah,
totally get it. Yeah.
yeah.
So that makes sense to me. So now, how were your grades then, and did you still maintain the extracurricular activities that you was doing? What were you doing at that time in high school?
In high school, I was involved in like pep squad, mostly pep squad, because when I first got to high school, because I was very different in the terms of the way I dressed, also in the way I spoke. And so it was kind of hard for me to fit in. Most of the kids that I came to school with were of Latin descent, and a lot of them were Mexicans and El Salvadorians and Puerto Ricans. So we were all, because that's in where I grew up in Southern California. That is, I grew up in a predominantly Latin community. And so when I went to school, we were all on the same bus. So it took me a second to get in the mix with the other Black kids, because they didn't really accept me until they found out I could dance, ironically.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and when they found out I can dance, they were like, oh, one girl, I remember I had a class in 10th grade. We had every single class together, which was weird, right? We had all 6 periods together. And she, I guess, overheard me saying something about dancing or something like that. And then she introduced me to another girl. And that's how I was able to kind of get in with the
Erica. See, now, I'm sorry, Erica, I got to cut you off there because I would love to see you dance. Can you still do dances now? I want to see it.
I dance. I do like the little TikTok dances, but I never upload them. I never upload them.
Oh, I need to see. No, you got to do me that solid, Erica.
Sometimes if you follow me on Instagram, you can I share like personal things. Sometimes I'm dancing in some of my videos, but yeah.
Oh, you have? Okay, so I got to see them. Okay. I was about to ask you. I got to see those.
That's my thing. I cannot sing. I can dance.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I got to see those. I definitely got to see those. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because let me just kind of see you get out that shell and just, I got to see that. Yeah. Yeah. So, all righty. So you said your pep squad, and what else?
I did pep squad. I did drama class. I was in drama. What else did I do in high school? That was pretty much it.
Did you was you part of any type of student government? Because you're like a student government type that you be.
No, I didn't want to get involved. That was so funny because people would tell me to run, and I was like, I don't. I felt like it was too much. Like, okay, so the one thing that I'm really big on, and a lot of people see it as laziness, is ease. I like to be easy. I don't like to be inundated with a bunch of stuff. I don't like to feel like I'm responsible for other people. And it's ironic because I'll stick up for you, but I don't want to feel responsible for you.
Right,
I don't know where that comes from, but I never wanted to have the responsibility of being, in leadership.
Really. Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not for everyone. I mean, because it's like it can be very draining at times. I mean, we all need, leaders, but you got to have some Indians. You got to have some Indians with.
I know my limits. Yeah, I know
exactly. So there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, your limits. See, so I get it. So now, as far as high school goes, I mean, you said that you had a high school sweetheart, pep squad. You just kind of feeling your way. You're navigating through,
friendships,
there's friendships and all that good stuff. So with all that you got going on in high school, what was your self-discovery then?
For me, it was it was kind of difficult because my mom and our relationship started to change, and school became like, I didn't care. I didn't care about school. I didn't care. I just didn't care. And I noticed what I took from there is what was more impactful, the thing that I remember the most is my mother kind of like backing away from me in terms of her being responsible for me, and kind of just like easing her, not really easing her like grasp on me, but like not really caring about my education, not really caring about like preparing me for after high school. What are you going to do after high school? She wasn't.
Why do you think that was?
I don't know. My mom, she has 2 siblings, and she was the middle. Yeah, she's the middle. And I don't know. She took her choices in life. I don't know. She was interested in other things. And I don't think that what I was interested in, she was necessarily interested in. So if I wasn't going in the direction of what she was interested in, she wasn't interested in what I was interested in. You know what I mean? Like, so if I'm telling her this is what I'm interested in, it wasn't really cultivated. And it was a stark change because my mom had me every extracurricular activity.
Right,
And then it
right.
was almost like she didn't care anymore. Um,
Mm,
yeah, my mom's like a pick me. So it's like,
mm,
yeah. So it's like her priorities were elsewhere, it wasn't
okay.
necessarily for me. So that was something that was real impactful for me in high school. And then I started to learn about effort, putting an effort into friendships and how that looked as I was coming out of high school and how to maintain relationships and putting in the effort in
Oh,
maintaining
okay.
relationships.
So when you
Yeah.
say that, I'm sorry, Erica. I
No
want to ask,
worries.
because you something said some profound, putting more efforts into your relationship and friendships. Oh, it's a two-part question. Why did you feel the need to do that? Like, what made you decide to, or you feel the need to do that? And how did that look to you? What was the steps towards you making those efforts?
Well, what my mom instilled in me was to always keep in touch with your friends, always keep in touch with your friends. And I felt like, looking back on it now in hindsight, that it was cultivating me into being a people pleaser, which is the opposite of me. And I held on to that for a long time, to where I was putting more effort into those relationships than that they were putting into me. So it's almost was like I was like chasing relationships with people who weren't putting in
Mhm.
the effort with me. And then that specific thing came up again like 20 years later. Yeah, 20,
Mm,
probably about 15 years later, when I moved out of California. And I realized that a lot of my friendships may not have been as solid as I thought they were if I wasn't putting in the effort.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now so given that, knowing that you were aware of the one-sidedness of it all,
Hmm.
when did that epiphany come up to say, okay, I need to shift gears
Not
here?
until I was 30.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So it
Really?
was, yeah. So it created a people pleasing in me, where I felt like I was chasing friendships, but then what I stopped doing was putting an effort into the friendships and matching the effort. So,
Yes.
and then I realized, and then that brought up a lot of things like in therapy and stuff for me, because
Okay.
for me, I felt like, well, why don't they want to put in effort to maintain a relationship with me?
Mm.
Why am I putting in all the effort
Did
to
you ask? Did
maintain?
you, did you ever inquire about that? Did you
No,
ever ask
because
them?
at that time I wasn't, I didn't know to ask, like,
Mm,
ask your friend, why aren't you putting in the effort, right? I didn't know how to communicate that. I learned by saying, I'm going to put in as much effort as you, and if you don't put in effort, I won't put in the effort.
got it. Yes. But I'm glad you came to that epiphany
Yeah.
at some point in your life, because some people spend all their lives, you
Yeah.
know, you doing, and it drains them and it just really wears them down. So I'm glad
Yeah.
that you were able to discover that,
Yeah.
even if it was at 30 years old, you
Yeah.
know. So going back to high school. So once you graduated high school, where did you go from there right after?
I went to a junior college in
Okay.
Pasadena. So I went to Pasadena City College and, studied there for a while. And then I left
Study
there.
what?
I didn't finish. And
Would you
then
study?
communications.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, I was focused on communications. But when you're in junior college, you're mostly trying to focus on your general
Trying to,
studies. But
yes.
that was my focus, going into communications, because I love to talk. So
Mhm.
yeah, and so I was like, I wanted to do something like get into radio and stuff. I never did that, and I don't know why. And there was plenty of opportunities for me to do that, but it takes me a second to get motivated to do stuff. Sometimes, if I want to do it, I'll be like, I don't know if I want to do it. Am I going to have to do the work that it takes to get this? So I wanted to be in communications, so I ended up getting my associates from LA
Okay.
Valley, which was another, because what happened was Arnold Schwarzenegger was a governor of California, and
Ah,
I was in an accelerated court. In an accelerated, I was going to finish my AA in like a year and a half. And so we were in an accelerated course, and then he did something and cut the funding, and so that
ah.
program went away. So it discouraged me. I stopped for a while, and then I went back and got it after. So
Yeah, so you finished. So you did finish. You got your
yeah, I
associate.
finished. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And it was in the degree itself was in
yeah.
communications.
Communications.
So, all right. So, Erica, what was your goal in mind? Like, what did you really want to do? Like, did you know what you wanted to do? Like, as far as career wise, did you know what you wanted to do, or did you have like a a
I
desire
wanted.
to?
I wanted to talk. I wanted
Mhm.
to talk. I wanted to do radio. That's why I was so happy, like when it came around, like podcast and YouTube and
Okay,
stuff like that. And then I was just like, oh yes, now I have a medium.
okay.
Yeah. And so I've always wanted to be, I used to have a blog back in the day. So anything that became like
Oh, I
came
didn't know
towards
that.
towards media,
Mm,
I leaned into that where I was able to create, I was able to talk about my views or my opinions on things. And so I always knew that I wanted to talk. That's it. Like I just
yeah,
knew that I wanted to
something with
get into
talking.
something where I was able to talk. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so once you got your associates, I know you mentioned that you got into corporate America, which surprises me. But you
Yeah.
said you got to
But I
corporate
didn't get into
America.
corporate America
Yeah.
until like
I was gonna
I was
ask.
in my 30s. Yeah.
Okay.
And
So yeah, I was
yeah,
gonna ask you that. What other jobs did you have? I was gonna ask, yeah.
yeah, I worked in let's see. First, like my first job was at Circuit City. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, oh, of
That
course.
it's an
Yes,
electronics store, kind of
yes,
like Best Buy. That was my
yes.
first job. I was like mostly like customer service. I worked for Wells Fargo, things like that. Just a lot of customer service. I was talking, anything to talk. And
Yes.
so, and I love, helping people and serving people in that way. So that was good for me, to do customer service for a long time. And then I got into like different odd jobs and things like that. I worked as a photographer's agent for
Mm,
television and film
mhm.
company. We were agents for photographers, and they would get jobs on red carpets and stuff like that. So I've been involved in television, film, and music. So yeah, yeah. It's just so
Oh,
then
okay.
then when I had children and I moved to Georgia, then
Oh,
I
yeah.
felt like I couldn't just do like float around. I had needed something more secure and stable. And then that's
Yes,
when I
got
got
it.
into corporate America.
So pause right there because I want to know what made you decide to move to Georgia? What was in it for you?
Yeah. A house. All I wanted
Oh,
was a house. I bought into the American dream.
mhm.
And, that's something that I talk about on my channel a lot. I wish that there was a woman around me to tell me, save that money, get a passport, travel the world.
Mm, mm.
That's something that I should have. That is the course that I should have taken, and that would have. But I took a different course, and here I am today. But yeah, any I bought into that. Like, oh, I want to buy a house, and I
Yeah,
knew
I think most of us
couldn't
have,
afford
yeah.
one. I couldn't afford one in Los Angeles. Not just
Oh,
me,
yeah, of
And
course
so
not.
I went to Georgia, found a house. I was in Georgia for a less than a year, and I got my house, and I bought a house within
Oh,
less than a year of me being there. So I went out there. I went out there to buy a house, and I said I wanted to start a business. I want to start a t-shirt business, and I've always liked to put like different sayings on t-shirts and stuff like that.
of
And so
course,
I
of
wanted to put
course.
it,
Which
yeah,
one what does yours say?
off with his head, a queen. A queen said it. So yeah, so I like to make shirts with different sayings and conversation starters and stuff like that. And so that's what I went out there to do. I said, and so I bought my home, but then I met a guy, and then I have two children now. So yeah,
With the same guy?
yeah,
How old are they?
18 and 17. He'll be
Oh,
17 in 2 days. Yeah,
oh, happy birthday in
yeah,
advance. Yeah,
yeah.
happy birthday. Yeah. So so now so being a mom, okay, so I want to get into that part. Now,
Mhm.
when you became a mom, did that soften you up a little bit? Especially as a boy?
Um, one of the things I loved, I never wanted children. I wanted to always remain child free. I wanted to be the rich auntie traveling the world
Got
with
you.
the lover and
All
a
right, Mary
blend
J.
and some
Blige.
wine. You know what I mean? Just like the
Yeah.
rich
Uh-huh.
auntie with her moo on. You know that's what I always had for envisioned. Like and it's so funny because I'm the only one of my siblings with children. I
Get
always thought
out.
I wanted to be the auntie, but now I'm
Wait,
the mom.
none of your other siblings have children?
No.
Wow, that is
Isn't that crazy?
crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm the one with the children, but it did, I don't know if it softened me up. I enjoyed being pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good experience the first time. Second time he came early. I was under stress of the relationship that I was in.
Yeah.
It
Mm.
was abusive, volatile,
Mm.
hostile, all the things,
Yeah, yeah.
and I left that relationship 7 days after my son was born.
Got
And I
get
had an
out.
18-month-old, so that's how you know it was bad. I had an 18-month-old
Yeah.
and a
Oh,
newborn and NICU, and 7 days after he was born, I was like, "I'm not about to do this." So he was out of there. So
yeah,
yeah.
so I'm gonna get into that. Not too not I was about to call you Bondi. Hi Bondi Blue, how you doing? You know, how
Yeah, what's
all
up
right.
to
So
Zombie?
yeah, yeah, I know you're mommy of each other. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I'm big sis. I'm big
yeah,
sis.
yes, absolutely. Can you get her on? Can you get her on for me, Erica? Help me out. Can you get her
Yeah, I
on?
can I'll ask her, yeah. I'll ask
Yeah,
her, yeah.
if you
And
have the
then
time,
when I
Bondi.
share this, she'll probably be in the
I
comments, so
hope so. Yeah, I really will hope so. Yes, yes, Erica. Thank
shout
you.
out to
Thank you very much.
Zombie. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome.
So shout out to Bondi Blue. Yeah. So I
Mhm.
want to get more, not too much into that, but because domestic violence is a thing that you would think it would have waned down by now, but it hasn't. I think it's gotten worse.
I do, yeah, I
And
do too.
so yeah, and I just want to kind of get a little bit into, you know, just kind of get into the strength of it all. Like,
Mhm.
okay, so let me just start off with before you got the strength to leave that situation, when you got into it, and you were you hoping to explore family life with this person? Because I know you said you had the children with him, but even though your mom
Mhm.
was not there as far as having children at the time, but you had two children with him. Like, did you see family in your in that space at that time? Oh no.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
listen, okay, so
Okay.
it's weird because it's weird, I think about this and I had to like unpack it in therapy, but I always wanted to be child free. I never wanted to be married. I was explicit. I never nobody ever no woman in my life ever pushed me towards marriage or anything like that because I
Right.
was always very vocal about it. Because I used to ask myself, like, why did my mother ever push me to like marry, right? Or did like that was like in like like
Because I don't think it
drilled
was
into
was
your
it
head.
was
She
she
never
surrounded by
drilled it
it?
into she
Yeah,
never did it. Yeah. And I
right.
think it was because I was so vocal and I used to say, based on my mom and dad getting a divorce, I never wanted to
Mhm.
get married because I don't want to get a divorce. So that was always
Hardy,
my
right,
thing.
right. So she didn't push it. But I'm asking because I mean, may not say it was in the cards for you, but it was something about the circumstance that you were in at that time that shifted your way of thinking to where
I'll
you
tell you. I'll
okay,
tell you what happened. So I
okay.
moved to Atlanta and I moved there with a friend from high school. We moved there for the same reasons to buy homes. Um, and then I had a friend whose parents lived there. And so I didn't have a community around me. And I met this guy, and he was very nice and he was did the whole love bombing thing.
Yes, yes.
And because I often say if I were in LA and had under the same circumstances met him, I would have never continued the relationship. But it was because I was isolated, right?
Gotcha.
I didn't have my father, I didn't have my grandfather, I didn't have my mom, I didn't have
Mm,
my cousins, I didn't have anybody around. I did have one friend who said that she didn't like him, but I didn't listen to her. I really didn't take relationship advice from her.
mm.
Um, and then it didn't last long. We were together from 2006 to the beginning of 2009, and half of that time he was incarcerated. So after I met him, he was selling firearms without a license, and he went to jail for a year and a day. And that happened like from the time it was like a love bombing. So from the time I met him, I was pregnant in the 6 months, in the first 6 months, and then he went to prison and was there for a year and a half. So I delivered my first son without him being
Without
there.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
without him being there.
Mm.
And he wasn't there for the second one because he was actually like in the car on the way. So he wasn't there for the second delivery either. But we were on our way out. And it got bad right away. And the first sign was when I first moved to Atlanta, my grandmother had passed. And I was in the bathroom crying, right? This is the woman who raised me. I was crying, I
Yes.
was emotional. And he opened the door and was just very insensitive and like, what are you crying for? And things like that. And that was like
Mm.
one of the first signs.
Mm.
And then after we were, he came home after being incarcerated and was very mean to me, was really mean, was really just verbally abusive. And then it became physically abusive. And then I left after 7 days after delivering my second son. hmm
Yeah.
And the reason why I stayed, or the reason why it lasted as long as it did, is because I didn't have a support
And
system.
your support system, right, right.
Yeah, I
You
didn't
was
have a.
you was halfway out, across the country,
Yeah, I was
Right.
like by myself, and so that's I was like a prime candidate for an abusive person to like enter a relationship with me. Tried to be controlling, right? Like, don't get any more tattoos, don't do this, don't dye your hair, and don't do all of this stuff, right? So yeah, that was around that time, you know, I was just like, oh, I have two children now. I knew that when I got with him, that it wasn't going to be long. I remember saying to myself, this is not going to last more than 5 years. I knew it. Like I knew it. It was like something that in me, and it lasted less than three. Yeah.
So now I want to get more into the strength of you being able to leave, because unfortunately some women and men are
Yeah.
don't have that ability to I mean, and I think they are aware of the toxicity of it, but
hmm
but there's so many different reasons, and we could get all into it all night, but we can't. But there's
Yeah.
so many different reasons why it's hard for them to leave, or they just can't leave, because it's not always easy depending on the circumstances, and
hmm
each one is so different.
Yeah.
And
Everything
yeah,
is
it
so
is.
different, but the same, right? It's
Right,
almost like if I share like me sharing my story, I bet there will be a woman who says, "Oh my
oh
God, did you date the same man? Because the same thing happened to me."
yeah, right.
Yeah. What gave me the strength to leave was I walked into my bathroom one day and I looked myself in the face and I asked myself, for the rest of your life?
Mm,
And that was done after that. I was like, I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life. No matter how I feel about myself, I felt like I was hustled, right? I felt like I was hustled.
yes,
I felt like
yes.
I was duped. And so no matter how I feel ashamed or feel the guilt of being hustled and duped by this man, I'm not going to stay in this. I don't have anything to prove to anybody. I didn't want to stay to be like, because I was one that was never in a relationship throughout my life. I haven't had many
Mhm,
um,
right.
boyfriends, right? So people were surprised, like, oh my God, Erica's in a relationship. She has two kids. And, some people might look at that as like, oh, that's a reason to stay for the family. I was not doing that. And I remember my mother was a woman who left an abusive relationship. My grandmother was a woman who left an abusive relationship. So I come from a line of women that don't stay in abusive relationships. So I was out. I
Yeah,
was,
and that's very rare too, that you said that, Erica, because we know, a lot of us come from generations of people who remain stagnant, remain dormant, to, you know,
Mhm.
those type of relationships. So congratulations on getting up that strength to leave that situation with two small babies, by the way.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah,
18
yeah,
months and a newborn. I was out of
yeah.
there. I was like, oh, well, I was not out of there. He was out of there. I was in my house.
Oh, shoot. All right. You better
He had
tell
to
us.
go.
Yeah. And okay, let me ask you that. How would that, because a lot of times when, especially when a man and that, who wants, to be in control, and sometimes when you leave a domestic violence situation, that makes them even more angry and more,
Oh yeah, he was very
wanting to,
angry. He
yeah,
was very angry, and I bought the house without him. So part of
right.
the way that he was abusive was when something needed to be done around the
It's
house, he wouldn't
ego.
do it. because he was like, my name is not on the house. This is your house. So when
Wow.
it was time for him to get his things and leave and his trash bags
That's
and I
right.
packed all his shit in them
Mhm.
trash bags, he had to
Get
get
out my house.
out my
Right.
house, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so how did that so, what did that look like? I mean,
Oh, what did it look like? Well, because it was I had given birth and it was like 7 days. It was the 30th of January, and he was just like, it was like coming to a head. And I was telling him, I want my keys. I said, you're not being supportive. Give me the keys back to my home. You got to go. I had gotten home before him and I had already started packing his stuff and I had put it in the foyer. And I was like, okay, here's your things, leave and give me my keys. And when I went to grab my keys from him, he took that. Now he was a bouncer, like 6'4",
Mm.
over 250 pounds.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when I grabbed, I'm 5'5". So when I grabbed my keys from him, he took that as a sign or opportunity
Aggression.
to then say that he was defending himself.
Yeah.
So then he struck me, but then I also come from a long line of women who don't F
Tolerate
around,
that.
and
Right,
I
tolerate
punched
that.
his ass in the face. Yeah. And so in that moment, I was just like, I'm not going to deal with this. I literally, like on my maternal side, I had to remember my mother leaving my father. I had to remember my grandmother leaving her first husband. I had to remember that. And I had to clear the cloud from around my head and be like, girl, you need
Yes.
to wake the F up, and
Mhm.
get your shit together because you can't live like this and you're not going to do this for the rest of your life. And I just I was determined not to allow my children ever to witness me and having that imprint on them of me being
Absolutely.
harmed by another person. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because a lot of times, a lot of people don't understand what type of stain that leaves, towards the children. So I'm glad you
Mhm.
did that. So
Yeah.
once you kicked this butt out, did he give you a hard time after that?
He
Was he
did.
stalking you and
He stalked
trying to?
me. He
Yeah.
broke into my house. Yep, he
Uh,
broke into
mm,
my house. He would come into my house. I didn't know he had made a key, and he would break in. He was
wow.
terrorizing me like a psychological kind of terrorism. He would break things and put them back. So when I would go, like say I
What?
would go and pick up a mirror, it would
And it
just
just
fall
falls
apart.
apart.
Yeah, because
Oh
he
my
broke it.
God.
And I'm like, how the hell did this break? I was missing jewelry. I'm like, what? And he actually, my I tell a story on my channel.
Okay.
The way that we found out he broke in was because he was breaking in was my mom was visiting and she was at the house one day and she heard somebody knock. She thought it was a delivery person and then she heard keys jingling and he came into the house. And then
What?
she looked and he looked at her. She said it looked like he had a baby in his pants. Okay. She looked like he shit on himself. And she was like, he was so shocked, but then was like, oh, I just came here to get the title to my car. And then when she let him through the threshold, in which her and I had a time with that, I had to
Right.
talk to her about that.
Right.
But she allowed him through the threshold, allowed him to go in my room, and he like stole some jewelry. And he did get the title to his car, but he also stole some of my jewelry. And to this day, will say that he didn't do it. But yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That is insane. And
yeah.
there's a reason why I wanted to revisit some of these things. Because like you said, this, could be some teachable moments for a lot of people that are
Mhm.
experiencing this. That's why I want to kind of get some little details about it to see
Yeah,
what the signs are, to see how it looks from the outside looking in, and understanding more about how much they identify with you in
yeah,
this journey. So
yeah,
that's why I wanted to kind of get a little bit into it.
yeah. I hope it does help
Yeah.
someone.
Oh,
Yeah,
it has. It helped me because I tell you, we got more in common than I thought, Erica. Wow.
yeah,
So far, just talking to you so far, I'm realizing we got a lot of things in common.
yeah.
Yeah. So I thank you so much for even being brave enough to even share this with me. I
Oh,
do
you're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
Yeah, I, I
So
I decide to share it because I know that it will help somebody, and I know that our
absolutely.
silence doesn't help. Yeah,
It doesn't. It doesn't help them or you.
yeah,
It doesn't,
yeah.
especially you.
It actually,
You
our
know?
silence helps the ones who harmed us, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that helps them. That keeps their mask
True.
on. I'm all for ripping their mask off. Yeah,
Yes.
their
Please rip
mask
it
off.
off.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this real quick, and because I don't, like I said, before but I really want to know, how did the legal system treat the situation with you? Did the did legal get involved at all?
No, no legal got involved. When I moved, I had him sign something that said he knew I was moving. I don't think he cared enough to be like, you got to stay in the state and this and that.
Mm.
I left the state. And we've been here for over 10 years, 12 years.
Okay, so you left your house. You
Yeah, I
decided
left my
to.
house. I sold my house. Actually, the corporate job that I worked for, they helped me move because it was a promotion. That the reason why I was moving was part of a
Oh,
promotion. I got a job promotion. And so I was like, I have to leave, I gotta leave. I got a job promotion. They helped me move, they helped me sell my house. So it was a smooth transition for me to move back to California.
oh, nice. So I'm glad. See, I'm so glad that happened for you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm so glad. And so let me ask you, what is the state of your co-parenting now?
I'm a terrible co-parent.
Oh, okay.
I'm a terrible co-parent. I take care of everything. They've been with me 100% of the time. Those are my babies. So
Mhm. Did he ever try to, or I mean, okay, so he hasn't really atoned in
no,
any
no,
way. He
no,
hasn't.
not at all. No, no, no. He's like
Uh,
I don't even know if you would consider him a narcissist. I don't even think he has enough confidence in himself to be
okay.
that false sense of self. That false sense of self. I don't think he had enough of that, and not even enough to fight. Like he wasn't. He doesn't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so let me ask you this, like, one, did you share this with your sons? Because I'm
Oh yeah.
assuming, and so
Everything.
how do they,
Everything.
okay. Um,
I always take pride in sharing the age appropriate truth with your children.
yes,
I'm
yes.
not going to make their father seem like he's a great
Same,
person.
right? They're not, right?
Yeah, if they ask me what happened between you and my dad, well, your dad got physically violent with me, and we were just not a match because I wasn't going to put up with a physically violent person. I explained to them as they got older, and I would get asked questions. I explained to them what actually happened, so they know exactly everything, and they'll never be able to say I didn't know that about my mom and dad's relationship. My mom told me everything I wanted to know. Yeah.
Okay, so now that you and I'm glad we got into this because you moved out, you moved on, you started a new single
Mhm.
mother with two boys, and you was still in corporate America at the time. What was that experience like? Erica Dinero in corporate America. How
Well, I
was
had
that?
to hide my tattoos, and I'm a
Yeah, yeah.
facilitator, so I had to stand in front of people and present and talk some
Of
more.
course, of course. How did you wear your hair?
I'm all short blonde, just short blonde hair. Like my hair is cut short, so my hair would be blonde most of
Okay.
the time. Yeah, and the corporate job that I worked for, very diverse, very open. It was just like so. I, Now I don't even have. We've gotten to a place now we don't even hide our tattoos, our piercings, or anything
Right.
like that. They've gotten really lax as it comes to that. But I used to just like wear long sleeve shirts and stuff like that. I would like I have a septum piercing. I would flip it up, when I was presenting and things like that. But yeah, same things there. I was always sticking up for people who when they felt like they weren't being mistreated, they would
The
come to my
biggest
cubicle
advocate.
and be like, Erica, because they knew I would be the one. I can't hold on to stuff when I feel like somebody is being mistreated. It's being like I gotta say something. But I did learn in corporate America to stop doing that. That's where I learned really like stop doing that because the people will have you fighting and then you'll be the one looking crazy and they'll be quiet and you fighting for them and they're not saying anything, like
Mm.
backing you up. So I stopped doing that. Yeah.
Oh, right, right. Because it seems like you're like the only one that's kind of taken on all of this.
Yeah.
Like you
And I've
said,
been like
the
that since I was a
one-sidedness.
kid. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you started to figure that out, the
Mhm.
one-sidedness of it all,
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, they're getting too comfortable. Like, let me
And
back
y'all
down a
come
little
to
bit.
me and always ask me all these
Yeah.
questions. But then when it's time for the meeting, nobody ever says
Nobody's, oh,
anything.
you know what? They just threw you under the bus. See there, you
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
see
And
they,
I used to be like, nobody's gonna say anything.
right,
Nobody's
like,
gonna say anything.
hello, hello, hello. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad you nipped that in the bud. But
Yeah.
so when you are you still in corporate America or no?
Yeah. I'm still at the same job.
Are you still the
I'm
same job?
ready to go
Oh,
though.
okay.
I'm ready to
Um,
go. I'm ready to go though.
I know, I can imagine. I know. But I want to ask you, Erica, because like I said, you do the corporate thing, but then you're like this, you're also this like eccentric, very wildflower and just so like chakras focus and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So give me some of that take. Give me some of your routine. I want to hear more about your routine on that one because I could tell you do the yoga, meditation, and I could tell you into the horoscopes and you're
Mhm.
into all of the all of the things. So
All of
can
the
you,
things, yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna
It's
dive more
a
into that
spiritual
part of
journey.
you. Yeah, give me, yeah, your spiritual journey. Dive more into that part of you, please.
Yeah, that started when I was around. Ironically, it started when my mom wanted me to get baptized again. And I always tell the story like when I came up out of the water, it was almost like the veil had lifted again for me. And
Wow.
I
So
was like,
you grew up in the church?
yeah, well, not really. Like it was, I was a Christmas, Easter church
Okay, I
goer.
got
My
you.
grandmother
Mhm.
was, my grandmother had her church home. My mother had her church home. And so, but when she wanted, it was around 17 years old and she was like, oh, you need to get baptized again and this and that. And when I came out of the water, I realized this is not it. I started reading different scripts and things like that. Started getting into tarot reading and things like that. Started reading books. One of the first books I started with was Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's a series of books of him
Mm,
having
okay.
a conversation with God. And so that was kind of like started my spiritual journey. Um, I've always been, that's have always been my interest, has always been outside of the organized religion.
Yes.
Um,
Where did that interest come from, though? It had to come from somewhere. Where did that interest come from?
um, my grandmother, uh, I think she used to tell me things both on both sides, both of my grandmothers. They used to tell me things, even though they both went to church, they spoke to me like in a code, especially my maternal grandmother. The way she
Mm,
would talk to me, it was almost as though she was telling me things without
mm,
saying them out explicitly. She would tell me different things that when I look back on it now, it was part of our ancestral practices, right? So I would listen to the things she'd say. She would say things like, don't sweep a broom over my feet.
oh,
She would say,
you spit on it. Mhm,
yeah, yeah. She would say
mhm,
different
mhm.
things like that. And then as I'm growing in my journey, I would realize like my grandmother used to say these things to me. She used to give me books. Anything I was interested in, she gave me a book. She would encourage me to go read the books on whatever I was interested in. So if I was interested in serial killers, my grandmother was going to go buy me a book on serial killers. If I was interested in astrology, she would go buy a book on astrology, right? And it'd be like a little book, not really, because my mom was like a holy roller. Like she got saved and she became kind of like a fanatic. Yeah, like a fanatic. And so I really just my grandmother would give me books. I just really started to read different stories, and I was always interested in something that was outside of myself in spirituality. And so I started reading different books, and messing around with tarot cards and stuff like that, getting readings and things like that. And then I started studying in energy work. I studied several different religions. I've studied Buddhism, Islam, of course, Christianity, and I've always leaned toward Eastern religions or religion practices. So I started meditating early, learning, trying to, practicing meditation. I eventually became a registered yoga instructor as well. So, and so those are I mean, I just everything. And I really maintained my connection with energy work because that
Yes,
was
energy work, okay.
me out after studying religions. That was the only thing that felt real for me. Like this is
Mhm.
real. I can look up and I can see the stars. I know the planets exist. And it was always about connecting then to mother and connecting to Mother Earth and being a steward and being a servant to mother and Mother Earth. So yeah.
So do you believe, well, okay, do you believe in God?
Yes, I believe in the energy that is given the name God.
Okay. No, because I know I'm asking that for the reason, for later on in this interview, I wanted to ask that because I want to make sure I respect one's belief system. So I wanted to make
Yes,
sure I
yes,
asked that.
yes. I
Yeah.
refer,
Mhm.
I use, I commonly use, universe, or designer. I don't know if people know this. It's so funny, and it's a little bit of trivia. But if you go and you into your emojis, right, and you're using emojis, if you type in God, the the artist's palette comes up with the different colors, like the palette
Oh,
that they hold to design and to paint. Yeah.
okay. You said what now? When I search
Type
for
the
what?
word like when you go to your emojis and do
Okay.
like when you go to your emojis, like you're gonna use it in a text message, and
Okay.
you type the word God, like you're looking for an emoji that will give you God and the palette. Does it come up for you?
No, just
Did anything come up? Like, what's your suggestions? Okay,
uh,
see, for me, my suggestions when I type in the word God as an emoji, hold on, I'll show you.
yeah, please. Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
Oh, interesting. So, like, because a lot of people, okay, and it makes sense that they say, because God is, they don't know if it's a being or not. It's like your own version of it. Whatever you want God, whether it's a he or she, and it's like, yeah. So that's another controversial topic.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I just want to touch on it just a little bit because for my belief system, I believe that God is a non-binary energy
Mm,
because we are
that's a good
both.
one. Oh,
Yeah,
Erica, that's a good one.
we are both. So
Okay.
we are both. We come from both. We're made from both, and all, but none at the same time. Like God, I feel like
Mm,
God is a non-binary energy that is the
that's,
creator of everything. So
mm.
it's both and none at the same time. That's
That's
my
interesting.
theory.
No, that's interesting take. I like. Oh, okay. Oh,
Mhm.
I didn't think about it in that aspect. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, I really, and that's the thing, Erica. If you don't mind, I really want for you to come back because I want us to dive more into this.
Oh, we
Into
could.
these scriptures. When next time you come back on the platform, we got to get more into this.
Yes,
That's
definitely.
just for the yeah, so yeah, so pin that one. Yes. Yeah, so but thank you for sharing that because I always wanted to get more into that if I was able to speak to you directly like we are now. Always wanted to get more into that with you because I
Yeah, and
always for
I've
that.
gotten to the place where
Mhm.
like I feel like I don't have to try to get anyone to believe how I believe because everybody has their own journey
Right,
and I feel like
right.
everybody's trying to get to the same place.
Mhm.
Whatever's in their mind's eye is where they want to go. And so I know that my spiritual practice is better embodied than me trying to get you to follow what I
To
follow.
fall like to
I
confirm
need to embody
to
my practice. I need to embody my whatever I believe in, I need to embody that. So if anybody looking on, I don't have to be like, come over here with me. They can just come because they see like, oh, she's embodied in actually what the things that she says and believes
yeah, that makes sense,
in.
that's highly respected.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So now, so I want to ask you, where did the whole YouTube thing come in? What is let me give us the makings of Erica Dinero TV.
Okay, so I started when I moved back to California. I wanted to review reality shows, and I
Right.
have a friend who he also wanted to review, and so we would get on YouTube. Back in the day, it was called Google Live, I think it was, and we would
Yes.
and he and I would make videos, and then our schedules got mixed matched, and so he kind of trailed off, and he would come every now and again. You can look throughout my videos and you can see Nate and I doing reviews and things like that, and so his schedule got different than mine, but I continued, and then I went dark for like 4 years. I stopped making videos for about three and a half years,
Oh,
and then I came back when I got like there was a notification that was like, oh, if you want your channel to stay monetized, you have to have this many hours, and so I didn't have that many hours. So I was like, oh, let me get back to work. So I got back on, and I've been here since. So, yeah, and I
so
really wanted to make my channel like I still do my reviews and things, but I was like, you know what? I need to start sharing my journey and my story, not only to document it, it's really to document it for myself. It's really to document for myself. If whatever my ideas are, I want to get them out there. Something for my children to look back on, or
Yes.
anybody, anything like that. It's really like a document. So that's why I kind of started including different things about social issues and the relationships and things like that, because I want to leave it when I'm gone for whoever
Absolutely.
can learn from it.
And you want to, yeah, because it is, hey, you leave a legacy because they see that image of you, like, yeah, there she go,
Yeah.
there's mom, yeah. So yeah, so let me ask you, Erica, because I want to get more into your approach towards your content, because it's so not easy. A lot of times people think that you're talking in front of the camera and you just you just out loud with it, and they don't realize how hard it is. So I just want to I want you to give me your approach towards how you um grasp whatever content you want to
Mhm.
talk about, why you want to talk about that particular thing, what is the reasoning behind it. Like, can you give us more into the type of commentary, the type of content that you do, and why do you do it?
Okay, so outside of reality TV shows, I use reality TV shows as a teacher. I use the subjects as like, because I'm a facilitator outside of YouTube. We use sometimes scenarios and scripts, that show like a scenario with two actors in it, giving a scenario, and then people talk about that scenario like a skit, right? So I use that in reality television because with reality TV, because these are people, how they're behaving in a, a contrived but not necessarily contrived environment, right? It's like you're in a contrived environment, but how you act is how you act, right? And
Right.
so um and the relationships between the women, especially like on Housewives, right? I feel like relationships with women, we don't often talk about them as much as we used to before all of these shows started coming out with all of
Okay.
these women dynamics and their relationships. We would see it on sitcoms and we would see it on the stories, but we wouldn't see a real life friend groups, and how, everybody has their archetype and how these people act, and then using that as a way to talk about how we are in relationships and what we would do. I also wanted to share, because being a person with the views and theories that I have, I know that a lot of people, only a small percentage of people have theories and ideas like me, but I wanted to share them. I didn't want to feel, I
Right.
knew that there would be somebody be like, oh, me too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Oh my God, I didn't know you do that too. And so I started, that's one of the things, the reason why I started sharing personal stories about me, personal anecdotes and things like that, because sometimes we feel like we're the only one experiencing something. And I feel like it helps that when we're together and we know that other people are having these experiences, people on television, oh, we're having the same experiences. How can I deal with that? And so then we talk about it. I also take the approach with, if there's something that I see out online, if I have an opinion about it, instead of just typing my comment about it, I'm going to come
Right.
down
Yeah.
here
On the
and talk
platform.
about it as well. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, that makes so much sense. And I really, like I said before, please, all of you out there in my audience, please make sure you check Erica Dinero out, because she gives such a unique perspective, and she she could be so harsh. I'll be like, "Dad," I'm
Yeah, I
like,
get
Erica,
that from my
how you really feel?
my
Is that
grandmother.
how you feel?
My grandmother, my grandmother, my dad's mom, she is an Aries, and she does not like, I get that from her. She's just
Yes. Doesn't mince
it's
words.
no heart, like, I'm gonna just say the truth. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say what y'all are not gonna say. I'm just gonna say it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So let me
So
ask
I've
you,
gotten that. I've gotten harsh a lot.
yeah.
And a lot of the times when I give, especially when I give advice on like women in relationships, I've gotten like, oh my God, Erica, you're so hard on us. Why are you talking to us this way? Why are you so rough? And I
My
always say,
goodness.
it's because I'm trying to pull you out of a burning house. I don't have time to pet your
Mm.
head and be like, come on, girl, let's get out of this house. I need to pull you out. And
Like,
it's
hello?
it's an
Yeah.
emergency. I'm shaking your shoulders. So that's why I say I shake your shoulders, because it's not going to be,
Yeah.
yeah. But I think when you the vibration is love,
Yeah,
right?
right,
You can
right.
hear it in my tone that I truly do care about women centering themselves and making themselves a priority and putting themselves first, and being healthy within themselves if they do
Yes,
want to be caregivers for everybody else, but knowing that they need to take care of themselves first. And so that's like the root of my message, is just always putting yourself first. And that's something that
right.
I've lived with since I was like, my first license plate on my car was down for self. That was my license plate.
Oh,
Yeah. So
nice. Right.
it was always something like reiterating, like, put yourself first, put yourself first, put your oxygen mask on first, stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yeah, right. So also I'm giving that because I know, yes, you do have like sort of a feministic approach to some of your commentary. And I know you have shared, your past relationship, and how
Mm.
that went. But Erica, I'm gonna ask, why do you hate men?
I do not hate men. I hate the system that men are socialized under.
Okay.
Right? And if you were to listen to me, and you would hear that I want men to live in a space where they are free and where we are then in turn safe around them.
Got you. All right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. But
Now a lot of people say she hates men.
yeah, because
I
I'm
actually hate the system that they're
okay.
socialized under, and the system that they lean into, and how they relate to people outside. I mean, we're literally operating in this male loneliness epidemic, and it's
Mm,
because they're like, we used to live in a society where we needed them. Now they must be nice to have around, right?
got it.
We don't
Okay.
need
All right.
them around. You have to be nice to be around. And a lot of them aren't nice because of the
Right.
system that they were raised under, right? Like I said earlier, when I was talking about the relationship with my son's father, there might be a woman in the comments who will come down and be like, oh my God, were you with the same guy? Were we with the same guy? Because
Mm,
I'm experienced the same thing, and I'm on the other side of the globe. How in the world? It's because of the way that they're socialized. And that is what I hate. I
that's
hate
what you
how
hate.
they're socialized. I hate how they lean into their socialization. And I hate how it affects the people around them and affects them as well. I want men to be free, and that means free in how they express themselves sexually, free in how
Mhm.
they express themselves in what they wear, free in what
Yeah,
they say. I want them to be free, because when they are free, we are safe.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Duly noted. But
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you, and I gotta hear this one.
Okay.
What is your views on submission?
Oh, what? You about to make me malfunction. I'm about to start glitching. I think the only thing that you need to submit to, is the God in yourself in the story. There is no, we are in peer to peer relationships with people. There is no hierarchy in our relationships that we have with people. But yeah, that there's no, we should actually take it out of our lexicon as it relates to relationships, because I feel like if you are choosing to be in a relationship with a man especially, that you should make it clear to him that we are peers. There's no hierarchy here, so there will be
Oh,
no
oh,
submission.
wow. Dang, Erica, get out my head. I was about to ask you about, do you think there was a hierarchy? I was about to ask you that.
If
And
there was a hierarchy, it
eh,
would definitely not be men at the top of the hierarchy. There
mm,
could be no hierarchy. We couldn't be below our creation.
okay.
You
Okay.
understand
Duly
what I'm
noted.
saying?
Yeah.
We
Hey,
can't we couldn't come secondary to what we create. So if there
right.
were a hierarchy, it would be the female human, the prototype.
So, okay, I get what you're saying, but okay,
Mhm.
so so that you feel like, when if there were a hierarchy, you think that the woman would be lead over
Yeah.
the man?
Hmm.
Oh, okay, interesting, interesting.
Yeah. The
Hmm.
man would not, that's like saying, I don't know. I mean, it's like almost like Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein, right? You all of a sudden you make this creation, and this creation turns around and says, you're beneath
Mm,
me.
mm.
That doesn't even make sense.
But you believe that the man is beneath you, though.
No, I don't. I don't believe in hierarchy, but I do
Okay, all
believe
right.
if there
Okay.
were a hierarchy, it would
Mm.
be woman.
You believe more individuality
Yeah,
among
no, it would be if there were a hierarchy. So a hierarchy means that
right.
somebody is
Yes,
higher than the other
yeah,
person. If there were a hierarchy, it
if they
would
were.
be a woman, it would be the creator and then its creation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, duly noted. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I wanted because I thank you for thank you for that because I
You're
always want to
welcome.
get your perspective. I may not agree, you guys, on every aspect of what is said by Erica Dinero,
Yeah, these are
I
my views
but I
and
get it. My
expressed by
views,
me
yes,
and not the necessary
yes.
views of the content creator.
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
gave you
thank
a
you very much.
disclaimer.
Yeah, yeah, but no, but I do respect it. I respect it, and I do understand it.
Yeah,
I understand it. So yeah, so I could kind of be more neutral in that. But
yeah.
yeah, but Erica, I want to have a little bit of fun with you.
Okay,
I want you to join me in a little bit of this or that.
okay.
Here they come, yo. Here they come.
Yeah. So you like that, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah. So so I'm gonna give you some, any
I
random
love
stuff.
Tribe Called Quest. Shout out to Tribe Called Quest. Yeah.
Oh, that was a Chop Go Quest. But yeah, me
What's
too. I like them too. That's Black
who's
Sheep.
that?
Black Sheep.
That. Oh, it is Black
Yeah.
Sheep. Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, but
Yes.
I understand why you said Tropical
Who's
Quest.
the
I
Black Sheep?
understand why you
That's the
said
Black
Tropical
Sheep.
Quest.
Yes. No, that was
Yeah, yeah. I understand why you said that. That's
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no, but that's Black Sheep.
It's
Yeah.
Black
So
Sheep.
so I'm gonna put some stuff out there, random stuff,
Okay.
and you
Okay.
choose one or the other. You can't pick both. You can't plead the fifth,
Okay.
one or the other.
Okay.
And I'm
Let's
gonna
go.
just stick it out the side of my head. So it's gonna take me some time to do this. So
Okay.
okay, grape or red?
Red.
Oh, you knew what I was saying. You understood what I said. Okay. I was, for those who are under a rock, I'm talking about Kool-Aid. I'm talking about
Yeah.
Kool-Aid, grape
Red.
or red. The red is either cherry or strawberry. It doesn't matter. It's still red.
Red.
So red. Okay. So diamonds or pearls?
Diamonds.
CDs or cassettes?
CDs.
Okay. God, who was that? Oh, David Bowie or Sting?
Ooh, Davy Boy. Yeah,
I know, right?
Davy Boy. Yeah.
Okay, so the Five Heartbeats or the Temptations biopic
The
movie?
Temptations all day.
You
I'm
sound like
gonna
my
watch
mother.
the Temptations. Now that you said it, I'm about to go watch it this
You're about
weekend.
to watch it. Okay, so Leela Rashawn or Robin Givens?
Layla Rashawn.
Was Layla or Leela? Oh,
Layla. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Roasted potatoes or sweet potato?
Ah, I like roasted potatoes, but I love sweet potatoes. Roasted potatoes. We'll do roasted potatoes. I like to put a little garlic on there too, a little olive oil and some garlic and stuff. Yeah.
Yoga or Pilates?
Yoga.
Why you gotta be? Are you doing it to be biased, or that's really your answer?
Yeah, I'm a yoga instructor, so yes.
I know that's what I'm saying. You
But
being
I do
biased.
some little wall Pilates stuff like that. I do like my little Pilates things, but yes, yoga.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was just making sure. I'm just checking because I was making sure you wasn't biased. I was okay. Uh, so, music or TV?
Oh, I go back and forth. So let's
Yeah.
do music. Music.
Okay. You mentioned music. Okay. Mary J. Blige or Faith Evans?
Mary.
Oh, wow, you said that quick. Okay. So, I'm gonna go back a little bit. All right.
Okay.
I'm just, I'm gonna see how far, because I know you're a music person. I noticed that, you like music. So I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Okay.
Teddy Pendergrass or Marvin Gaye?
Teddy Pendergrass.
Okay. Now, speaking of those, if you have to choose either Marvin Gaye's song, Let's Get It On, or Teddy Pendergrass, Turn Off the Lights.
Turn Off the Lights.
Oh, dang you! Oh, he's like, no.
My dad was a big Teddy Pendergrass. He loved Teddy Pendergrass, so we always listen to Teddy Pendergrass. Yeah.
All right. So, curry chicken or curry goat?
Curry goat. Love goat.
Thank you so much. You did that's a good job. You did a
Thank
good job.
you. Thank
All
you.
right. I enjoyed those. I enjoyed that. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So now before we wrap up, Erica, I love to ask these particular questions and I love the answers that I receive. And I'm looking
Okay.
forward to
Okay.
yours. Yeah. So if you have 5 people at the seating table, dead or
Mhm,
alive,
mhm.
who would they be and why?
Well, three of them I know off the bat. It would be John Michel Basquiat,
Mm.
Salvador Dali,
Right.
and
Before I'm sorry, Erica, like when you mentioned what each one, I need the why for each one.
okay. Well, all of them are the same why because they're just like my favorite artists and in different times, and I want to hear about their lives during the times that they were
But
living.
I still need it for each. So go back to Basquiat.
Okay, so Jean Michel Basquiat because he was a nonconformist and he didn't give a fuck. Salvador Dali because he would paint things that messed with your mind. It was like it's a mind.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mine
like
F.
it's
Mhm,
yeah, the surrealism of it all.
mhm.
And then Frida Kahlo because she's just a bad
Oh,
bitch.
I like yeah. I've always been fascinated by her. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You said she's
and
savage?
then
You said she was savage?
yeah, a bad bitch. Yeah,
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 yeah. Okay,
yeah. I
got
think
it.
she was bad. She like she the way she just crossed over, just doing things that people. I'm always attracted to the people who are doing things outside of what people tell them that they have to do. I'm always
Absolutely.
attracted to those types, and all
Yeah, and
three of
speaking of
them.
that, yeah, and
Yeah.
speaking of that, did you dip into I'm just always curious, did you dip into Lady Pond?
No, no,
No?
no. I haven't. I love women, but not sexually.
Not
Yeah,
in
no.
sex.
But I love women. I love being affectionate with women. I love all the things that
Okay.
nurturing. I love all of those things. Hope we can hold hands and all the things. But yeah, no, no lady pond.
Okay, I was just
Yeah.
curious. Thank you for answering.
But I
All right.
consider, what's so funny because I consider myself queer because I'm outside of the status quo. Like I'm outside of the status quo. So
Mm,
I do consider myself a queer person.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So you said Basquiat, Salvador Dali, Frida
And Frida
Kahlo.
Kahlo. Now the other two, I don't know. Um, I would say the Dalai Lama. I would like to talk to the Dalai Lama and just also hear about his story. Um, he's alive still. So then, and who else? Did you say dead or alive?
Dead or alive. Yeah.
Okay, dead or alive. And then I think the last person, Eartha Kitt.
Mm.
Yeah, just because like I feel like she has such a good story of like this just how she was received in Hollywood and her life and another one who went against what people had planned for her, I've always been attracted to those like public figures who are just like I'm not doing that and no. So yeah.
Right. Right. That is some table. Wow.
So yeah,
Okay.
so John Michel, Frida, Salvador Dali, Eartha Kitt, and the Dalai Lama. Yeah.
Yeah, that is wow. That
I think
is a
that would be
really
a good
interesting table.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine? I want to be a fly on that wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so, Erica, so this is a question that I take from James Lipton from Inside the Actor
Oh,
Studios.
okay,
So,
yeah.
yeah, so Erica Dinero, um, if you were to when you enter into the pearly gates, what would you want the most high to say?
Um, welcome back.
Oh, you've been here before.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on my
Oh,
fourth life. I'm on my fourth life, so I
yes,
like
yes, oh,
I would
yeah,
do
come here.
welcome back.
You,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You were join the ark in your former life? Okay.
Yeah.
But this is so but Erica, this has been so much. I mean, I really did enjoy this.
Oh,
I
you're
really do
welcome.
appreciate you spending this time with me. It's been
Thank you for
amazing.
having me.
Yes, and like I said, I really want to have you back, to delve into other topics that that I
Sure.
mentioned
Yeah.
before. But do you have any final words for us?
No, I don't. Just put yourself first. Put your oxygen mask on first. put yourself as a priority in everything that you do for everybody.
And protect your energy.
Protect your energy. Yeah, really protect your energy, and especially what we're dealing with now in these times. It's really important to get your incense going, get your music going, get your comfort levels together, and really protecting your energy physically, emotionally, mentally, not staying in this black mirror too long, disconnecting, and meditation. Yeah, it's we need to like unplug, literally.
Unplug.
Yeah. So
Ladies
yeah.
and gentlemen, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Erica Dinero TV, y'all.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so thank you. Erica Dinero was in the building with us, and like I said before, it was such a privilege to have her here. I mean, and it's just being able to have such a broader perspective on just just life, and just how she receives the earth, and what it entails, and what it's all about. So it was just like I said, it was just amazing to me. So I just really appreciate her just giving her giving her true authentic self. So I thank you so much. And I thank everyone for joining in, those who are here on the live, those who catch the replay, those in the bushes. And please make sure you do this for me. Tell them, Tamara. Comment and share. They'll make you aware. Faith is the substance. Have a good one.